I would like to thank Matt and Beth Bakes for opening up their shop to us. This is the first time I've been here, and I'm very impressed with the facility and all the cars and the work they have. And it just goes to show you another successful BMTA member here in the Northeast. And thank you for allowing us to come here. Matt has how long ago did you buy British Wiring?
We bought it in 2007.
2007. Many of you are aware of British Wiring. They were in Illinois, and Matt took the wonderful opportunity to buy out that entire business as a whole and keep it together. I heard him speaking earlier about how there were different fractions. Some of them wanted to take the Healy, and others wanted to take the Land Rover portion, and Matt was willing to take it all. So he did, and it's a wonderful supplement to his business, and he's going to discuss a little bit how that transition took place and how it's helped him in Triumph Rescue aspect of things, and whatever else he'd like to talk to. So there he is. Thank you, sir.
You're doing such a good job.
Yeah.
I was thinking about sitting down and grabbing a beer and just hanging out.
Yeah, I'm almost off duty here.
One more day.
Yes.
One more day. I did want to welcome everybody to Triumph Rescue. I'm very humbled and honored, actually, to have the BMTA come to my shop and look at what I have, what I've done. Just a real quick synopsis of what's happened here. I've been working, started my business about 15 years ago. I worked behind my house for about 10 years, and we could fit about maybe 5 cars. And Dennis has been a long-time customer of mine, but I think we had probably about 5 or 6 cars in there at the most, very cramped. So then this building became available, and about 5 years ago we bought this building. And I wanted to make mention when Tucker was talking yesterday that his building looked like a tomb. Well, this place looked like a morgue. It was absolutely hideous. There was 2 light bulbs in this whole garage. The basement, some pump had broke, so there was 2 feet of water in the basement. My dad came and looked at the building, and he's like, you know, holy crap, man, what are you doing? So, long story short, my dad doesn't say, holy crap, what are you doing anymore? Because it's grown into this. But you know, usually fathers are pretty wise. But so that brings us today. Triumph Rescue's been around for about 15 years. We have 6 employees, 6 full-time employees. We have 2 part-time employees. We have Beth and I. So there's really 10 people really working out of here right now. There's 20 jobs going on right now in the building. And that seems to be a comfortable spot for us because we were very busy. We actually had our best year ever this year, despite the economy. But it just gets too hectic. You become any more work that's more in this building right now, and you really become a slave, and it becomes not to be any fun. And one of the reasons that I wanted to make sure that this was still fun. You know, if you don't like your job, then you're just absolutely screwed. Sorry to say that. But we, so long story short, 2007, I'm sure some of you guys may have gotten, Leslie sent out a solicitation for sale on our business. And some of you may have got it. I always thought, even before I got that in the mail, I thought it would be a great idea, a great compliment to our business, because we were using our harnesses all the time anyway. And so Leslie and I started talking about it, and it seemed like it was a good idea. You know, you got to talk about money and everything like that, but it seemed like it would really complement our business. And you know, I'm kind of going through this pretty fast, but we, she was concerned that, as Pete had mentioned before, that you know, the Healy guys wanted the Healy stuff, the Land Rover guys wanted the Land Rover, the MGB guys wanted the MGB stuff, and it became, she didn't want to see the company broke up. She wanted to try to keep it as one, and I had no problem with keeping it as one. So, long story short, we came to an agreement for sale. I flew out there, spent a couple days with her and Ed, kind of going over the business, and and getting a feel for how they did things. And, you know, it started making more and more sense. And I usually, how I run my business, I really just work off of what my gut tells me to do. And that's the bottom line. I don't have any grand scheme. In fact, I don't even market very well because in my British Restoration backdrop, I have an Avanti. So I don't have the Jaguar over here so everybody can look at something. I have an Avanti. It's a cool car. Everybody loves it in the shop because it sounds awesome when it starts, but you know, it's not a British car. But the long story short, it just made sense. And we went ahead and bought it. And there's a little funny story about this whole thing. It's the first business I've really bought. And of course, I went to the corner bank. We have accounts with them. Been working with them for 10 years. Showed them what I wanted to do, and she's like, "Oh yeah, so this is a no-brainer." Fine, perfect. That's what I want to hear. Well, it wasn't not a no-brainer. So it comes down to the time where she said, "Yes, we'll give you the money. Everything's all straightened out. Let's have lunch." Fine. I don't really like to go out for lunch. So that was a bad one right to start with. So we go to lunch, and she's like, "Well, you know what? We can do this, but we want a first position on everything you own." And I'm like, "Well, that's not going to work." So I said, "Fine." Didn't say a word. I said, "Thank you very much for the lunch." Went back to work, and I got on the phone. Because now I had already told Leslie that I was going to buy the business. We had changed the phone number. We had changed the advertising. All on the account that this was going to happen. Well, now I was work, no problem. Well, now we're about 2 weeks away to buying the business. And he says, "Well, I have a problem." And I'm like, "Oh, what's the problem?" "Well, we don't think it's going to work." And I'm like, "Well, what do you mean it's not going to work? What do I have to do?" Well, he said that they're just not, they don't like it. I said, "Fine." They didn't know that my uncle knows everybody in that bank. Called my uncle. I said, "Listen, you know, I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking for a squat. All I want you to do is make a phone call for me." My uncle called the president of the bank. The branch manager called me in an hour and said, "Who do you know?" And it stirred all sorts of things. And he said, "You cannot believe the horse nest you just stirred." And I'm like, I really don't like to do things like that. I like to be the little guy that just putts around, gets his stuff done, and doesn't bother anybody. But they really pissed me off. So, but anyway, bottom line is I got my money. So now I can fly out to drive out to Illinois to buy the business. So that's my little, you know, what do you call it? The little guy wins. And thank goodness for my uncle. But we drove out there, loaded up British wiring in my enclosed trailer you'll see outside when you go. We had that thing packed to the gills with nothing but copper. I didn't really realize how much that stuff weighs until you load it into a, I had my Suburban and the enclosed trailer because it was kind of funny. And I told my son-in-law, my rather new son-in-law, that, "Hey, why don't you come to Chicago with me? We're going to load up this business. Won't be a big deal. We'll put it in the back." We worked our ass off. Put that stuff in there and then drove home. But we did it in one weekend. We left on a Friday, got out there Saturday morning, loaded it up in the trailer, got back Sunday morning, and unloaded the whole business and put it in. We were taking phone calls on Monday morning. It was a huge undertaking. And it worked. You know, everything worked out. So. But I really think that, and as a whole, British wiring is, it's actually worked out very well for us. It's not a, you know, it's not a home run, and I don't know whether it will be a home run. And one of